Good afternoon. My name is Jared Beck. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Beck Lee in Miami, Florida. And today I wanted to make this video to announce the filing by our firm of a class action lawsuit on behalf of individuals who donated to the Bernie Sanders campaign as well as the DNC against two defendants, the Democratic National Committee and its chairperson, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. And this is the complaint right here. Before I discuss the complaint in a little more detail, I did want to thank everyone who was involved in the preparation of this lawsuit over the past few days. It was a tremendous undertaking done on a very compressed time frame. First and foremost, I wanted to thank the many thousands of individuals across the country who contacted our law firm, whether by email, over the phone, social media, giving us our support and indicating that they want to be part of the lawsuit. This case is about you, and as attorneys for the proposed class, we intend to do our best to represent everyone in the proposed classes to the best of our ability. I'd also like to thank other members of our legal team, including my wife and law partner, Elizabeth Lee Beck, my colleague Colin O'Brien, as well as my colleague Antonio Hernandez, who assisted with the preparation of the lawsuit. The case was filed in the Southern District of Florida Federal Court, and there are a total of 121 named plaintiffs in the lawsuit, which is just a small fraction of the actual number of people who have signed retainer agreements with our firm. We decided that in the interest of time and given that given the time frame presented by the upcoming Democratic National Convention, that was important to get this lawsuit on file. However, I did want to tell everyone, please, if you're interested in participating in this lawsuit or finding out how you can serve as a class representative, by all means keep contacting our firm, send us an email or contact us through the Facebook page that we've established, and we'll try to get that information to you as soon as possible. There's still time to participate. This is just the first complaint that's been filed with the court to officially start the lawsuit. The case, and I'll just summarize the legal complaint, the legal claims in the case. If you want to review the complaint in depth, we'll provide a link to that on our website and Facebook so that you can examine it at your leisure. But there are essentially 7 legal claims that we are asserting in this lawsuit, on actually 6 legal claims that we're asserting in this lawsuit on behalf of the proposed class members. The first is a claim for fraud against the DNC and Debbie Wasserman Schultz, which is based on the revelation through the recent Guccifer 2.0 leaks of documents purportedly taken from the DNC's own computer networks, which show that while the DNC always purported to be neutral and even-handed and impartial with respect to the Democratic nominating process, in fact, it was not neutral and impartial, and from the beginning it was devoting its considerable resources to one candidate and one candidate alone, that being Hillary Clinton, at the expense of other candidates, including Bernie Sanders, notably Bernie Sanders. The second claim is for negligent misrepresentation, which is essentially substantially the same as the first claim. It's just a slightly different legal theory. Count 3 is a violation of Section 28-3904 of the D.C. District of Columbia Code, which alleges that the Democratic National Committee and Debbie Wasserman Schultz engaged in deceptive conduct prohibited by the statute by falsely stating that that the DNC was being neutral and even-handed in the primary process, when in fact it was not. Count 4 is a claim for unjust enrichment against the DNC, which seeks a return of all donations made to the DNC by members of the proposed class on the theory that those donations were fraudulently obtained through false representations and omissions relating to the conduct of the Democratic primary. Count 5 is a breach of fiduciary duty claim on behalf of a proposed class of members of the Democratic Party, and the claim here is essentially that the Democratic Party breached its Democratic National Committee breached its fiduciary duty of care to members of the party by failing to run the Democratic primary in a fair and even manner, as it is required to do under the charter and bylines that govern the DNC. And finally, count 6 is a claim for negligence, and this is a claim also against the DNC on behalf of its donors, relating to the failure to use reasonable care by the DNC in safeguarding the personal information of the donors. And of course, all that information, a lot of that information leaked out, or apparently has leaked out, by virtue of the Russian hackers, as revealed to us by the Guccifer 2 release of documents that occurred in recent days. So a lot of questions have been coming in from people who are interested in the lawsuit or interested in signing up to be class representatives. Of course, it's hard to answer, or it's hard to read thousands and thousands of emails as they come in and respond to all of them in depth. But I did want to respond to a couple of points that have been raised and present a few points of my own. One question that we keep getting is, what is the point of this lawsuit? What is the ultimate goal? Well, I think the best way to answer that question is to say this. This lawsuit is our effort as attorneys to give a voice in the political system to all those who have been defrauded by the conduct of the DNC in supporting and promoting Hillary Clinton's candidacy in violation of its own charter that requires it to be neutral. And of course, those individuals are individuals that gave an enormous amount of money to Bernie Sanders and his campaign. In terms of the class representatives that we have, they range from everyone from lawyers and doctors who gave thousands of dollars and purchased billboard advertising to promote Bernie Sanders, to folks who've been telling us that they've been unemployed or even homeless, but they still scraped up money to give to Bernie. So it's a very diverse class of people across the board that have been economically harmed by the conduct of the DNC. But I do want to stress this. This case is not about money. I don't think you can put a dollar figure on American democracy, and at the end of the day, I truly believe that American democracy is what is at stake in this lawsuit. The conduct of the Democratic Party, or the DNC, as it's set forth in this complaint, is manifestly undemocratic. We live in the United States of America. Candidates are not supposed to be picked behind closed doors and sold to the population through manipulation and deceit. Candidates are supposed to be voted into office by a democratic process, and it has become apparent to me as an attorney, looking at evidence that's coming out, piecing together the facts. It's become clear to me that this democratic process is in severe jeopardy, and it has been jeopardized by the DNC and its chair through their conduct, and that's the conduct that we alleged in this complaint. So when you're talking about the democratic process itself, that's not something you can put a dollar figure on. The goal of this complaint, the goal of this lawsuit is to ultimately, we hope, to get changes made or get the DNC to make changes to its own conduct. And if that has to happen by court order, so be it. But we need the DNC to act in accordance with its charter in order to, quite frankly, give democracy a fighting chance in this country. That's my personal view, and that's what we will be striving for in this case. And ultimately, we hope to give a voice to all those in the classes as defined by this complaint through this lawsuit. That said, there also have been questions coming in about how this lawsuit relates to the political process itself, and obviously we have a national convention coming up. We have a presidential election still going on, and folks want to know how this this lawsuit will impact the politics. Well, I can say this, from my standpoint as a lawyer, this lawsuit is separate from the political process, and I would remind people that in terms of the political fight that's still going on for the Democratic nomination, that fight's not over yet. Bernie Sanders has not conceded the nomination to Hillary Clinton. He has made it very clear that he is going to the convention in Philadelphia and that he is going to fight on behalf of all those that supported him in the primaries. And I, may be unduly optimistic on this, but I believe that at the end of the day, there's a strong chance that Bernie Sanders will prevail at the convention, because I truly believe that the superdelegates who have been tasked with selecting the nominee in this case will ultimately make what I think is the only reasonable choice in this election, and that they will select Bernie Sanders over Hillary Clinton. That said, I just wanted to put it out there that I think everybody watching this who has devoted their efforts, whether that's volunteering or making contributions or just offering support to Bernie Sanders, don't give up. Don't believe that the fight is over, because it's not. I can tell you as a lawyer whose practice primarily depends on representing the underdog against defendants that are overwhelmingly powerful in terms of resources or whatnot. I often found myself in the position of being on what appears to be the losing end of a struggle, but ultimately prevailing at the end of the day. And I'm firmly confident that we can do that here if we all work together. So in terms of the political struggle that's still going on, I would urge everyone out there to do what they can to get the message out there, whether it's writing to the superdelegates who are from your state, or if you can go to the Philadelphia during the convention, please go ahead and do that, or just continue to be active on social media or in discussions with your colleagues or your family or friends, and keep the support for Bernie Sanders alive, because that's the best thing you can do at this point in time to ensure that Bernie Sanders has a fighting chance to get the nomination from the Democratic Party. So in the meantime, we'll be providing regular updates as our lawsuit progresses. We'll be providing those on our website and over social media on our Facebook page. We'll be providing documents as those documents become available, starting with the complaint itself, which we'll be putting up there shortly. If you have any questions or thoughts or observations or comments, don't hesitate to contact us. You can do that by email. You can do that on Facebook, over Twitter. We're obviously getting a lot of interest and traffic and communications relating to this lawsuit, so we may not be able to respond to you right away, but We very much thank you for your patience and your support throughout this process, and we hope that by all working together, we can ultimately make a positive change to our system of government and save American democracy from some very dark and concerning forces that are aligned against it at this moment in time. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll be in touch.